Hello everyone, my name is Rexer from the YouTube channel NotQuiteThereGaming, and today I will be showing you my next build for Warframe. Now next is primarily a crowd control Warframe, so if you want a caster Warframe that's capable of dealing a lot of damage, you'll want to check out my Nova build coming up soon. Now, in order to achieve this build, I formatted her twice, that is the use of forma right here, twice. I changed her attack polarity here into a tactical polarity, and I got her a defensive polarity here. First of all, you'll want to slot her aura, which is, as you might suspect, energy siphon. This supplies her with 14 extra mod points and power regeneration rates, which isn't that awesome. It's a very slow power regeneration, but in certain situations you will really find yourself wanting it. And it's an aura, so it affects all your teammates, which means you're helping out. There are certainly some other auras that you could be slotting in here, but Energy Siphon is widely regarded as, if not the best aura, then the most easy to justify, because everyone uses energy, and this aura gives you energy regeneration, which you wouldn't otherwise have. Now next, you will want to slot her skills. First we have Mind Control. Mind Control only affects one target and turns them to your cause after a short stun duration. This is especially good against heavy enemies, or even more so against ancient healers, which will then turn around and start healing your own team, which is fantastic. I can't even stress that enough. Next would be Psychic Bolts, but Psychic Bolts isn't actually that good of a skill, so unless you're trying to build experience, in which case it's good for that, Psychic Bolts would be a damage dealing skill, but at level 30 the damage it does is, I wouldn't say it's completely negligible, but it gets there pretty fast against stronger enemies, and you really don't want to waste your mod slots with that. Instead, I chose to slot a grossly undervalued mod, which is Enemy Sense. Now, Enemy Sense gives you enemy radar in 30 meters. With that, you can know where the enemies are, and knowing where the enemies are, you can either take cover to not get shot at, you can shoot them first because you know exactly where they're coming from, or you can avoid them entirely. So it's a very good defensive and offensive mod that I think a lot more people should be using. Now next is the skill that basically makes the Warframe, which is Chaos. Chaos turns everyone in a large radius against everyone else. If you're the closest target, they'll shoot at you. If their friends are the closest targets, then they'll shoot at them instead. This is probably a skill that you could get away with only slotting this and ignoring all her other skills, but I find that Mind Control is useful when Chaos is in effect, and I can take control of a heavy enemy and have them keep busy the hordes of spawning enemies while Chaos wears off, so I can cast it again. That's the major downside of Nyx's skills, namely that Chaos and Mind Control can only be cast while they are not in effect. So if you cast Mind Control on someone, you can cast it again immediately. That person either has to die, or Mind Control has to wear off on them. And the same goes for Chaos. Next we have Absorb. Absorb is Nyx's ultimate, which encases her in a bubble of damage-absorbing, swirly magical stuff. Now, the swirly magical stuff does a minimum of 1500 damage. If you absorb more damage into the bubble, then it will do that amount instead. It also does this damage on a relatively short distance, which is 10 meters, which we will be enhancing soon enough. Now, on the subject of using Nyx's skills, I might make a video later, basically a tutorial on how to best use Nyx, or how I feel to best use Nyx. Some of her skills, like Absorb, have little tricks about them, and Absorb specifically is a very tricky skill to use because it has been known to be buggy, and they're trying to fix that, but I don't think it's quite there yet. It can actually kill your Sentinel. The Sentinel will actually suicide in your Absorb. I don't think it happens anymore, but it was quite embarrassing. Next, we will want to be enhancing these skills, because Chaos is awesome, Mind Control is pretty good, and Absorb situational, but pretty good as well. So first thing we want to do is enhance their range. So for that we will need Stretch right here. Stretch enhances power range by 45%. This is primarily useful for Chaos and Absorb because Mind Control already has a pretty good range and you only have to affect one target anyway. Chaos affects every target within its range, so that's why it's really good to boost its range. Absorb, like I said, has a range of only 10 meters, so it can use anything it can get. In addition to Stretch, we want to be using Overextend. Now, Overextend is an Orokin Vault only mod, which enhances range by quite a lot, 90% power range increase, but also reduces power strength. Now, power strength will reduce the minimum guaranteed damage of Absorb, but not the damage it does by absorbing. So if you are using Absorb and nothing shoots at you, you will be pulsing at the end of a skill, you will be pulsing 1500 magical swirly damage. With this skill, you will pulse around 700 or so minimum. If you are getting shot at while casting Absorb, while in the magical swirly bubble of invisibility, you will still do the amount of damage that you absorb, so it doesn't affect that at all, which makes this almost a no-brainer. But if you find yourself needing 1500 damage precisely, you will want to avoid this. If you do, might be better off using Nova, because as I said at the start, Nyx isn't primarily a damage dealing Warframe. She is a crowd control Warframe. Next, we want to enhance Nyx's power efficiency, which, as you can see, we've already enhanced with the Vespa helmet, which adds power efficiency and reduces armor, but that's negligible, especially for a cast Warframe like Nyx. And next we want to slot Streamline. There it is. Now, the Vespa helmet and Streamline both combine to give Nyx enough power efficiency that she will not usually be bleeding for power. You don't need flow, you don't need other mods that enhance power efficiency or power maximum power stored. Nyx is a pretty efficient Warframe, and because of the way her skills work, she can't cast them that often, so she can't spam her skills and lose a lot of energy quickly. There is another build that involves the use of Fleeting Expertise, and Fleeting Expertise is also an Orokin Vault mod, which sadly reduces power duration, and power duration is used in all of these skills we're using now: mind control, chaos, and observe. So you don't want to do that unless you know what you're doing. And reducing the duration on Nix's skills is a bad idea, just like I think enhancing the duration on Nix's skills is a bad idea. I find that the duration of her skills is just right, and using a mod to affect that either way is seriously hampering her abilities, because, for example, mind control and chaos have a stun component at the beginning of their effect. So if you reduce the duration of them, the enemies will have less time to acquire targets. That means that they won't be shooting their friends, they won't be actually helping your cause at all. It will then turn the duration decrease will then turn mind control and chaos into more of a cheap stun than a mind control. It's good if you want to just speedrun something where you don't want to actually kill. But if you want the enemies to turn around and shoot their friends for you, you want to avoid fleeting enemies. Next, we will be enhancing Nix's survivability by the use with redirection. Redirection enhances shields, and we will also be using vigor, which also enhances shields. Vigor is a nightmare mode reward. It helps, I think, it's a very small increase compared to redirection, but it enhances health a little bit as well. And because of the new damage 2.0 system, it is good to enhance your health even if you have massive shields, because some damage bleeds through those shields and you don't want to be caught completely off guard. The last mod that I like to use on Nix is Fortitude. Now, Fortitude is also a nightmare mode reward, and it increases resistance to knockdown, but also increases shield regeneration. Resistance to knockdown is debatable at 20%, but it's good to have. And shield recharge is a must-have because of your greatly increased shield capacity. Now, you might want to use fast deflection, but that's only a 90% shield recharge boost. It's the same cost, and you don't get the knockdown resistance. So, as you can see, we have mod points to spare, and we've slotted everything we want to slot. We can apply, and that's next for you. If you found this video informative or entertaining, please remember to subscribe to my channel, like, favorite, comment, all that good stuff. I'm just starting out on YouTube, so if you have any advice, if you want to give me feedback on the quality of my videos, please keep in mind that I'm not using the best equipment. I hope to be using some upgrades in the future, but right now I'm just starting out, and I would like to do some more Warframe videos, as I said, with Nova coming up next, and some other games that I enjoy playing as well. So, this has been Rexar of the YouTube channel NotQuiteThereGaming, signing off.